Hi everyone, welcome to This is Cinema. There are totally 33 movies, 12 series, and 2 special presentations, which are included under 5 phases, and broadly divided into 2 sagas. In this video, we are going to discuss about all the movies and series that are released under MCU so far, and how the projects gets connected to the greater cinematic universe. I assure you there will not be any spoilers, just the basic brief plot of all the MCU projects. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe, your small contribution means a lot to us. And I swear this video is gonna make your time valuable, so sit back and enjoy, watch till the end for complete cinematic experience. All the movies and series are basically divided into 5 phases, and all started from Phase 1, which has 6 movies. Phase 2 has 6 movies. Phase 3 has 11 movies, Phase 4 has 7 movies, 8 series, and 2 special presentations. And now MCU is currently on Phase 5, which has 3 movies and 4 series. Let's begin with Phase 1. The cinematic universe begun with this blockbuster Iron Man 1. The movie tells about the origin of Iron Man, how he takes part in the greater good for the world, and announcing himself a superhero to this larger universe. Next is Incredible Hulk. This is not an origin story of Hulk, because everyone knows about the Gamma accident which gave him the powers. This movie is about the government officials trying to cover Hulk under their radar, and trying to create monsters like him, and how Hulk finally overcame all of that, and led a peaceful life. And it's an underrated movie, but worth watch. Next is Iron Man 2. This movie tells about a millionaire tries to build suits like how Iron Man does, and a Russian guy who comes to take revenge on Iron Man for his past, and finally Iron Man manages to defeat both of them with the help of War Machine. Next is Thor. It's the origin story of Thor, and the battle between 2 brothers, and how Thor develops his character in the entire journey, and it's a pretty good movie to watch. Next is Captain America: The First Avenger. It's the origin story of Captain America. As of the name, he's the first original Avenger. The movie tells about how he became Captain America, and how he helped his country to win the World War II. It's the first movie to introduce an Infinity Stone, and it's quite inspirational movie to watch. The final movie of Phase 1 is The Avengers. The team-up movie of all the superheroes we have seen in previous Phase 1 movies, and all of them tries to save the planet from a common enemy, who tries to destroy it. This is the first movie in MCU to give the connected cinematic universe experience, and from here, the growth of MCU truly began. Phase 2 kicks off with Iron Man 3. The movie tells about a guy who got insulted by Iron Man in the past, develops himself for years, and faces Iron Man to defeat him, and also tries to take over the US government, and how Iron Man defeats this villain amidst all his mental traumas, and it's a pretty good movie to watch. Next is Thor: The Dark World. The movie was about a villain from the Dark Realm, who tries to convert the entire world into darkness, with help of an Infinity Stone, and how Thor defeats him with the help of his girlfriend. It's a one-time watch movie. Next is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The movie was about Captain America exposing the truth about the specialized agency, which recruited the Avengers before, and how Captain faces all of his hurdles to achieve his mission. It's one of the best MCU movies of all time, which has very good action sequence and storytelling. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. The movie was about a group of outragers unites to fight a villain, who has the control of an Infinity Stone. It's totally a cosmic movie, which takes place in outer planets, and it's one of my favorite MCU movies. Next is Avengers: Age of Ultron. The original Avengers unites again, to save the planet from an ultimate threat, an artificial intelligence which tries to erase the entire mankind to form a better world. Movie was about how the Avengers defeats this villain along with other newly added superheroes. Finally, Phase 2 comes to an end with Ant-Man. It's the origin story of Ant-Man, how a thief gets turned into a superhero, who always wants to spend time with his daughter, and how he helps his mentor defeat his enemy. It's a pretty good movie, and fun to watch. Next, Phase 3, which kicks off with Captain America Civil War, one of the finest MCU movies of all time. The movie tells about how Avengers get separated into two teams among them, because of their small mistake, and the most interesting thing is that, this is the first MCU movie where the villain wins, and gets what he wanted. It's one of the most important movies of MCU. Next is Doctor Strange. It's the origin story of Doctor Strange, why he learns the mystic arts, and how he used that to save the universe from the dark dimension. It's a visually impressive movie, and also a very good movie to watch. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The movie was about the Guardians team fighting the celestial dad of the hero to save the entire universe, who wants to make it under his control. It's a very good movie, and fun to watch. Next is Spider-Man Homecoming. The movie was about how Spider-Man manages his both superhero life and normal life, and also how he takes down a villain who sells the dangerous weapons made of alien technology. It's the best movie to introduce Spider-Man into the MCU. Next is Thor Ragnarok. The movie was completely written for the character development of Thor, how he was willing to do anything to save his people from destruction, and how he fulfilled his Asgard's destiny. The movie is completely filled with entertainment, and it's one of my favorite MCU movies. Next is Black Panther. The movie was about how Black Panther defeats his own cousin, who turned into a villain because of a tragedy in his past, and how Black Panther becomes a better king based on his decisions. Next is Avengers Infinity War. The movie was about how Thanos gets his hands on all Infinity Stones, and how Avengers fights to stop him from fulfilling his destiny. It's the awesome movie, and basically moves on with Thanos' perspective, and the most important movie to watch in MCU. Next is Ant-Man and the Wasp. The movie was about how Ant-Man and his mentor family tries to rescue the mentor's wife from the quantum realm. It's a neat movie, and fun to watch. Next is Captain Marvel. It's the origin story of Captain Marvel, how she acquired her superpowers, and how she used it to save a group of people, and defeat the villain group who tries to destroy them. It's a one-time watch movie. Next comes Avengers Endgame. The final conclusion for all the previous 21 movies of MCU, and it's an emotional roller coaster, and the movie is about how the Avengers could go to any end, to save their universe from the threat. It's the best MCU movie ever released, even MCU couldn't able to produce another movie like Endgame. Finally Phase 3 comes to an end with Spider-Man Far From Home. The movie was about how the emotional decisions that Spider-Man takes, puts the entire world in risk, and how he overcame that to defeat the villain. It's a pretty good movie to watch. Now, all these movies we have seen so far under 3 phases, comes under Infinity Saga. Spider-Man Far From Home might be the last movie in Infinity Saga, but based on the plot and story-wise, Avengers Endgame was the conclusion for this entire Infinity Saga. Before entering the Multiverse Saga, I need to explain about the Defenders Saga, which was recently included under MCU. It was originally apart from MCU, and they were separately released in Netflix. Now they are included under MCU, and Defenders Saga totally contains 6 series with 13 seasons, which basically deals with street-level superheroes like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Punisher, and Luke Cage. We will discuss about it in another video. Now let's enter the Multiverse Saga. As of now, the Phase 4 was completed, and it began with WandaVision. The series deals with what Wanda does to overcome her loss, and how it affects the surrounding people, and how she realized her true power. It's the first Disney Plus released under MCU, and it's very good series and a must-watch. Next is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The series mainly focuses on Sam Wilson's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, their journey after the Endgame, and how they joins to fight the common enemy. It's a really good political show, and it's one of my favorite too. Next is Loki Season 1. It's one of the best MCU shows released so far, and the way they handle Loki's character was amazing. The show mainly focuses on the Time Variance Authority, and the man behind all of this, who's been controlling the people as puppets. It's the first multiverse-related project of MCU, and a must-watch show for everyone. Next is Black Widow. The movie deals with the story of Natasha and her sister. The timeline was set after the events of Captain America: Civil War, and it's a decent movie to watch. Next is What If Season 1. It's an animated series, which basically deals with the alternate reality stories, from the stories we have already known so far in the Infinity Saga. They explain how a single change might lead to a complete different alternate reality, and it's very good animated series, and a must-watch show. Next is Shang-Chi. The movie basically deals with the misunderstanding between a father and son, and how that finally leads to their character development. It's one of the good movies released after Endgame, do not miss it. Next is Eternals. The movie deals with how the Eternals team came to Earth to develop the civilization, and finally how they get united to save the Earth from the threat that's gonna destroy the entire planet. It's not a bad movie, but a good one-time watch for Marvel fans. Next is Hawkeye. The series mainly focus on how Hawkeye trains Kate Bishop as a mentor, and how they face the common threat together to defeat them. And it's a really good show to watch. Next is Spider-Man: No Way Home. The movie was about how Spider-Man brings in the villains from the multiverse because of his mistake, and at the end how he sacrifices everything to save this universe from the threat he caused. It's the best movie that released after Endgame, and gives much of the nostalgic moments in entire movie. Next is Moon Knight. The series was about a guy with multiple personalities within him, and how he helps the Egyptian god to save the world from another evil Egyptian god. It's a pretty good series next to Loki. Next is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. The movie deals with multiverse, and the threat that's causing the damage to multiverse, and how Doctor Strange prevents it from another universe. The movie gives a kind of horror vibe, and it's a good movie to watch. Next is Miss Marvel. The series was about how a teenage superhero tries to save our planet from an other-dimensional threat, and how she develops herself an identity in the world. It's a pretty good series to watch. Next is Thor: Love and Thunder. The movie was about a god butcher, who was corrupted by the Necrosword, goes around the universe and murders lots of gods, and how Thor and Jane stops him, and saves the rest of gods. It's a decent watch movie. Next is She-Hulk: Attorney at Law. The show was about how Hulk's cousin gets her power from him, and how she manages both her work life and superhero life. The finale of the show was a complete surprise for the fans. No one could have imagined that kind of a finale, and it's a decent one-time watch series. Next is Werewolf by Night. It's a special presentation, and it deals with the monster hunters and their ancient relic, and the fight among them to get the relic for themselves, and how the monster werewolf plays its role in the story. It's the MCU's dark and gritty project, and that deals with supernatural things. And it's a very good show to watch. Do not miss it. Next is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The movie was about how Wakanda suffers without their Black Panther, and the new Black Panther saves Wakanda and rest of the world from Namor. It's a solid movie, and good to watch. Finally, Phase 4 comes to an end with the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. It's a special presentation that deals with how the Guardian members tries to help Star-Lord to overcome his grief. It's a feel-good show, and do not miss it. Currently MCU is in Phase 5. And it began with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The movie was about a time-traveling space king, who was struck in the quantum realm, and how he tries to escape from there with the help of Ant-Man. It's a pretty good movie. The presence of Kang was very good in each scene, and a must-watch movie in Multiverse Saga. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's the ending of the Guardians trilogy, and an action-packed fun-filled movie that completely focuses on how Guardians trying to save the life of Rocket. A must-watch movie in MCU. Next is Secret Invasion. The series was about how the evil Skrulls took over the planet, replacing the people and higher officials, and the chaos they create, and how Nick Fury tries to control and win them at the end. A pretty good show to watch. Next is Loki Season 2. The series was about how Loki tries to save the multiverse from He Who Remains, and the way they have given redemption to Loki's character is really unbelievable. Marvel just pulled of this amazing show, and the fans are left speechless. A must-watch show in the entire MCU. Don't miss it. Next is The Marvels. The movie was about how the power entanglement of three superheroes occurs, who has light-based powers, and how they defeat the villain to save our planet, and it's a one-time watch movie. Next is What If Season 2. The continuation of What If Season 1, and same as that of Season 1, it tells about the alternate possible stories of MCU, but this season also includes multiverse saga projects within it. And it's a must-watch show. Next is Echo. The series was about how a physically challenged girl acquires her superpowers, and how she uses it to defeat the villain, who is a street-level mafia king. It's the first binge-watch series of MCU, and a pretty good series to watch. And finally, we have seen about every projects that have released under the banner of MCU, and I'll discuss about Defenders Saga in another video. It's a very big thing to talk about. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please show us your support, and I'll meet you all in another video. Until then, signing off.
This is cinema.